Hi there. Good evening to all my friends on Facebook and to my new friends on Google+, who very well may be looking at this video on my blog once I get it embedded. I'd like to say a couple words about the Trayvon Martin case. It's another one of those controversial matters that's ripping this country apart with a real polarizing effect. Well, part of the reason why it's so polarizing is that there's a side issue that is enveloping what happened that night and really just causing an uproar where ordinarily there would be much less of one. So I think if we really need to understand what's happening in this Trayvon Martin case, we need to put that issue to the side and out of the way where it belongs. That's number one. Number two is, who's the victim and who's the bully? I've been blogging a lot about bullying and victims in the last year or so that I've had the 4 Pillars blog up. I've talked about how bullying is wrong, how it's unacceptable, how victims need to build themselves up and realize that what the bullies do to them is wrong and the proper authorities must take care of them. But in a case like this, where dead men and or teenagers tell no tales, we have no idea who was the bully and who was the victim. We only have Mr. Zimmerman's account of the facts, stating that because he was in fear of his life, he used deadly force, and he happens to be in a state where there is no duty to retreat away from the assailant before doing so. Now, as we all remember from 7th grade social studies, this is why we have the legislative branch and the judicial branch of government. You cannot all picket the Tallahassee State House and demand that they rip the stand your ground law out from underneath Mr. Zimmerman's feet because you don't like it. That would be an ex post facto law, and that would be completely and totally unconstitutional and make that legislature look like fools. We have to play the ball where it lies, and we have to assess the alleged crime on the date it was committed, and on that date there certainly was that stand your ground law. So the picketing at the State House will have to come later. For now, it's time to judge him on the facts and the law at the time in question. Now, the problem is, among many, that the deceased's mother said on the Today Show it was an accident. Now, if you're a prosecutor, especially one who is specially appointed and who took on this case only to stop the public outcry, that is the last thing in the world you want the mother of your victim to say. Second-degree murder, just like in any other state, requires a proof of intent and malice of forethought, if you will. Not an accident. That can maybe bump him down to manslaughter or, if anything, just a civil case. But an accident, poor choice of words for sure. But it remains to be seen who really was the victim and who was the bully here. Maybe Mr. Zimmerman will get the case dismissed before trial with a pretrial motion on stand your ground. Maybe he may have to go to trial and just plead self-defense to the jury, going all the way. We won't know. A lot of the great legal prognosticators out there think he's going to walk, but with the public outcry, remains to be seen. Juries can do pretty funny things. You can do everything you want to shelter them from the media and the public outcry and everything else like that, but they're human beings. They are us. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. They're going to think whatever they're going to think. And who's to say whether this man will walk or not? Well, I guess we'll just have to stay tuned. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk about it later.